I find myself questioning how the Miami Heat even made it to the finals. I'm questioning it every single time I look at these stats. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said before, we'd be better off seeing Boston, Denver. I guess they didn't want to tarnish Jason Tatum's legacy. Because it looks really bad losing in the finals twice. So you could tell that's their baby for down the future. But their baby now is Jokic. A man who didn't even take but 3 shots up until halftime. And their team still led by 14 points. And you think that Miami is going to win? I don't know. Butler, he was hitting shots early. And then he got cold. He got brisk cold. I couldn't find the man. Where were you, Jimmy Butler? Where were you? There's a stat. Miami's 8-2 when Jimmy shoots 25 shots. Keep that in mind. He only shot 14 yesterday. Denver, they use their size inside early and often. Miami couldn't do anything about it. Miami couldn't stop fouling. Miami looked weaker. They looked like the much worse team. Wasn't even close. Miami was forcing Denver to take tough shots, though, early. Like, I'll admit that. In the first, second quarter, Denver, they had to take tough shots that Miami forced. But it still wasn't enough. They were doubling Jokic in the paint as soon as he got the ball. But the problem with that is Jokic wasn't even looking to score. The man wasn't even looking to score. He would grab the ball and look for the double teams man and throw it at the man that left the guy open. That's all he did. So Miami, they can't play like that. They have to force Jokic to want to shoot. That's what I would say. If Jokic wants to be a passer, you got to take all the passes away. And you got to give him space to make him want to be an offensive player. Because I think that's how you win this series. If you're going to let him play make, he's got enough guys that can shoot and score off of his passes that they're going to kill you that way. You can't let him beat you that way. You can't let him be a center point guard, a point center. That's when you lose the game because he can see over the defense. He's probably better than LeBron James in this aspect because he's taller and bigger. He puts the pass on the money where it needs to be every time. Open shooters. Miami went to the zone when Jokic was on the bench. Guess what? The zone did nothing. Denver just missed shots. It wasn't because Miami, their zone was so overbearing. It was because Denver missed shots. That was it. Aaron Gordon's size was a problem early and looked like the second coming of Shaq. Aaron Gordon was looking like the second coming of Shaq on the Lakers, guys. I shit you not. It was bad. They need to find an answer for this size, man, because they're getting killed. He would just back down Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's like 6'2". Why is he on Aaron Gordon? Gordon's going to back him down and get inside all game long. It's not going to even be a contest. If Miami plans on playing like this, which I don't think they will. Like I said, game 1 and 2 were feel-out games. So Miami's going to play completely differently. They're going to have a complete different game plan. But what I'm saying is if they plan on playing this way, it's going to be a long series. I'm not going to be able to watch. After game 3, if they go up 3-0, I'm probably not going to watch any more games. Because it's probably going to be a sweep, right? Like, they go up 3-0, they win these 2, and then go to Miami and win. It's looking very bleak. I don't see another Boston series happening. It's looking very, very bleak. Now, what was I going to say? Timely Miami shots would silence the crowd, but then Murray would get an open dunk or layup off of a Jokic pass, and then the crowd would go erupt again. So Miami needs to figure out a way to stop these runs and score consistently. But they really got to figure out a way to stop this offense. If they can't slow them down and stop the bleeding, Miami's going to be the ones bleeding out in the end. Jokic didn't even take a shot until there was 1 minute left in the first quarter, guys. And they were still up 8. Let that sink in, guys. Their best player did not. That's like LeBron not taking a shot. Or think of any best player on any team. Think of them not shooting the entire quarter until there's a minute left. And then you still have an 8-point lead. How do you come back? How do you combat that? How do you beat that? It's too good. It's too amazing. I just don't know. How do you combat such a thing? Michael Porter was everywhere on defense, blocking shots, rebounds, making shots, bothering guys, 6'10", long arms. I just don't know what the answer is for him. And on offense, he just couldn't be stopped. Like, there's size everywhere you look. From 3 to 5, they're at least 6'10" and above. I don't think people realize how massive and lengthy this team is right now. They just don't. It's just size right now. Miami was hanging around all game, though. Like, Denver kept let them hang around 8, 9, 10 points the whole game. Miami, that's kind of where they want to be. Just hang around, don't take the lead, and come out of nowhere and take the lead at the end. I think that's how Miami has to do it. Make Denver think that they're ahead and have the control, but then you have to come in at the end and take it from them. Because Denver, they play well when they're behind. They actually thrive on that situation. I think you got to make them think that they have a lead, keep it within 5 points, and then you give them a push at the end. You give them a slight push, and then you go in and you take the game. Miami has to keep it close, closer than they did last night. What they did last night ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. Denver, they got to put their foot on their neck and step on their throats when they have a 10-point lead, stretch it to 20, and then take off. Bam! He had success on offense from mid-range and around the basket. So that was nice. Couldn't stop Murray from driving without fouling. And everyone else, for that matter. Wasn't just Murray. It seemed like they were fouling everyone. And then it seemed like Miami didn't get any free throws, which we're going to check soon. And what you're going to find out is free throws was the difference in this game. So they lose by, 9 points, right? Or is it 11? They lost by 11. But I think they only shot or made like 2 free throws or something crazy like that, guys. Something insane like that. Normally this team gets like 20 free throws or makes 20 free throws, roughly around there. That's normally what they did or do. If they did that this game, they would have won. But they didn't show up. They had another agenda. I don't know what that agenda was, but it wasn't Miami basketball. Offense was hard for Miami to generate, hard to watch. The shooting was abysmal. It was bad. They let Denver, mainly Murray, see the ball going through the hoop too much. They were off almost 10 days, and you're fouling them, letting them shoot free throws, gain confidence. Like, you can't be doing that. A team that hasn't played in almost over a week, you can't let them see the ball going through the hoop. You got to find a way to muddy up the game and make them not feel comfortable. Something Miami was not able to do. Miami, they look tired. They look sloppy. They look stagnant. They looked outmatched. They didn't look like a finals team whatsoever. If this is how Miami's going to play, it's over. Plain and simple. Now let's look at the stats. Let's take a look at this. So box score. Actually, let's look at the stats first. I want to see the stats. Well, we'll look at that next. So on Miami, so Bam had a good game, but you don't want him taking 25 shots. You want Butler taking 25 shots. That's the guy that wins the game for you. So hopefully he's the guy taking the shots. You'd rather see Bam with 13, and then you want Butler with 26 or more. That's how you win. Gabe had a decent game. Caleb was abysmal. He couldn't hit a backside of a barn. Max Strus, even worse, couldn't hit a backside of a barn. And they lost by 11, guys. So this is actually encouraging for Miami because two of your starters combined for 3 points on 17 shots. They made one of them, guys. That's not going to happen. Let's say these guys both score 10 points each like they normally do. Miami wins the game. That's why I don't think that this series is over. If you really ponder, if these three guys can keep playing like this, but then you get help from Caleb and Strus, this actually is going to be a series. And Duncan gave you nothing. So that's three guys that normally give you at least 10 points. That's 30 points. Well, 27 points just gone. That makes this a ball game, guys. Kevin Love didn't even play. He has to play in this series, man. I wonder if this is Jokic's cousin or something. They played him. So let's see here. Yeah, this is actually encouraging the more I see this because Duncan and then Strus and Martin didn't do a thing. Between the three of them, you need at least 30 points. You got 6 points. So that's encouraging, guys, because they're not going to do that the entire series. So I'm actually encouraged by this. I think Miami still has a chance. Like I said, this was a feel-out game. So these two guys went off. Like I said, you got to keep these two guys under 25, 20 points. If you can do that, you have a shot. This is just a little too many points. Keep them under 25, 20 points. You have a shot. You can't let Gordon score more than 10. And then Michael Porter, the X Factor. Here he is. This is the guy. Got to slow this guy down. They almost had... All right, never mind. I was going to say they almost had 3 triple-doubles. They had 1 triple-double, a double-double here, and a double-double there. So it's a lot to handle. But, guys, they only play 8 guys. They play only 8 guys, so they literally have to find a way to make this work. They don't even play Reggie Jackson. That's surprising. But they got to figure it out, guys. Everyone contributed on the Nuggets except for Bron. But they usually play 7 deep. They gave Bron some minutes because it was late, I think. But usually they play 7 deep. And Miami plays about 8 deep, sometimes 9. The problem was Duncan gave him nothing. Love didn't play. I don't know why. That's kind of ridiculous to me. And then these two guys gave you nothing. You can't have that. If those guys give you 10 points, you win the game, guys. And if you get free throws, which we're going to take a look at next, you win the game. I think Miami comes back, guys. Just based on this. This game was made to look very ugly and mucked up and bad, like Miami can't stand a chance. But when you look at the box score and these stats, they have a chance. Don't listen to these bettors. Don't listen to these analysts on ESPN. If they're telling you that Denver is going to cakewalk, they don't know what they're talking about. They're not taking into account that 3 key guys on Miami didn't show up. And Jimmy didn't even show up. 13 points? Like, these 4 guys aren't going to play like this terribly every game, guys. I think Miami, maybe not next game. I think in Miami they wake up. I think they possibly tie this series up. Once Miami wins a game, they going to get that confidence. They going to get that confidence that they need, boys. I promise you that. I just don't think they're going to win in Denver game 2. I think they're going to come back in Miami and show them what they're all about. Because Denver, they played, I'm going to say 7 deep because this guy did nothing. They played 7 deep. And they played very, very well, guys. Like, very well. I just think Miami can play better than they did. I think Denver played well, and Miami didn't play well, and they lost by 11. So, I think that they have a shot. Don't count this team out. Let's look at the stats though, just team wise. So field goals. Let's see this. Miami didn't shoot well, guys. They made 39 shots on 96 attempts. They had way more attempts. So they really should have won this game, guys. If Miami makes their shots, they win the game. They lose by 11, right? So 3-point shots. Let's say they make, well, not even 3 points. They made a good amount of threes. Let's say they made more mid-ranges. If they make 6 more mid-ranges and take more than 2 free throws, they win the game, guys. Basically, free throws saved the Nuggets, guys, because they didn't shoot threes well. Wow, guys. I'm actually more encouraged by this for Miami, because they did not play well. The rebounds, they did well there. Assists, they normally do well there. Offensive rebounds, they did well. They just couldn't score. A lot of that has to do with the high elevation, tiredness, fatigue. But now they're going to have almost 3 days off. They've felt out the arena, the elevation. I think Miami could come back, guys. This is encouraging. They had a 24-point lead on a team that didn't show up. Miami even had a 1-point lead at a certain point. They fouled too much. Let's see. They got to slow this down a little bit. Points off turnovers, they both had a bunch. Yeah, I'm encouraged by this. Because really, if Miami just shoots better and plays more aggressively and gets more free throws, they win this game. I'm standing by that, guys. I'm more encouraged by this. I think Miami's guys are going to play better throughout this series. This was just a bad, very, very bad game. I'll be the first to tell you, this was a terrible game. And it makes it more easy for people to pick Denver on the next game. I don't know if I'm gonna pick Miami for the next game, but there's gonna be a game in this series where I pick Miami. I just don't know when. I'm just not sure when, guys, because this team is definitely able to match up and play better. They just couldn't make a shot. They looked fatigued, like I said. They looked all out of sorts. It was bad, guys. It was real bad. But I think they're going to step it up. I don't know if it's going to be game 2. But if you're not encouraged by what we just saw, guys, this box score, by these guys, they have 4 guys that didn't show up. Bam was the star player. He's normally not a guy that's going to do this. That's what's very encouraging about this. 3 of their top offensive guys, a lot of people would say, didn't show up. Jimmy didn't show up, baby boy. Where are you? Where are you, Jimmy? Like I said, we gonna need you to drop 30. If you drop 30, your team wins the game. We need Jimmy Butler to show up. We need playoff Jimmy. That's the key in this game, guys. If playoff Jimmy doesn't show up, Miami loses, and I'm gonna stand by that. If Jimmy shows up, Miami wins. It's plain and simple as that. You can't go in and only shoot through 2 free throws. That ain't gonna get it done ever. I need you to be more aggressive and grab your balls and go harder than you ever did before. And you can get it done, guys. I believe in you guys. I'm gonna surmise that you're gonna win a few games. I don't know when it's gonna be, but it's gonna be. I'm gonna call the next game, but I need some time to think. I'm gonna be back, guys. I'll let you know who I think will win the next game. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.